This is a podcast miniseries presented by Modular Media. Little Worse Than a Pod, Little Better Than a Cast was performed in front of a pre-recorded studio audience.
Alright, fuck it.
Dudes! Welcome to Little Worse Than a Pod, a Little Better Than a Cast! I'm the Radical Vacuuminator, and I'm here with Boingo Ryder!
I'm here to talk shows and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Awesome! And also, we have the totally bodacious Miriam of Buster Corp.
Insert Malcolm in the Middle reference here.
Alright, I'm done with that, because that's going to destroy my throat if I keep doing it.
So howdy, y'all.
Hi. It's Wandavision time. This episode is the all-new Halloween Spooktacular.
Why is it all new? This is the first Halloween spectacular, I think, in the MCU.
I don't know. That's just what they called it. But like, all new is also a Marvel thing. Like,
yeah, all new, all different Marvel.
Well, they've used that prefix before that too. It's like something they've done a bunch of times. So
yeah, it's like Marvel using secret or war or secret war.
Mm-hmm. Or
a whole bunch of wars because we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Marvel's not in crisis every 5 years.
That was a good one.
Come on, Marvel has a better moniker for big event things because we got secrets and wars. You got crisis, and you have to explain what the fuck a crisis is every time you get one.
So basically, it's big boom.
So you see, when anxiety comes together with people, a crisis happens.
So
anyway, episode 6
I believe
of
Boingo went first last time. Miriam,
yeah.
Why don't you tell us your general thoughts on this episode?
It was very, very, very good. I actually understood the sitcom references for once because I know what Malcolm in the Middle is. So it's like it was really cool to see the Malcolm in the Middle, kind of the kid talking to the camera, breaking the fourth wall. I wonder if that will have a plot significance. Probably will. Also, we got to see Wicked and Speed costumes, so that was cool. Also, Evan Peters being really cool. Just everyone was really cool. Vision almost died, but other than that, really cool. Also, I already saw the spoiler image for episode 7, but I'm really concerned for Darcy now.
Oh no. Let's talk about Evan Peters for a minute, because he's the big new thing that we were all curious about last week.
Yeah.
Because I love that they brought him in and everybody's like, oh my god, it's Fox Quicksilver, but he's really just playing comic book Quicksilver?
Yeah.
He just seems to be playing a version of Quicksilver that we were supposed to get in the MCU, but we just never got.
Well, I mean, it was for legal reasons. The Marvel and Fox just agreed, we'll use Scarlet Witch, you can use Quicksilver.
Yeah. I mean, if contract disputes weren't a thing, what Feige wanted. And also, I don't think this is. I'm more convinced that this is just some original resident of Westview or Eastview. Also, by the way, someone told me this: Westview, WV, WandaVision.
Mm.
You probably already knew that, but I
hadn't thought of that. But yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm more this episode makes me more convinced that Evan Peters is just some weird. Either Mephisto or just an original resident of Westview.
I have theories and speculation on what exactly Pietro might be, but we can get into that a little bit later. But Evan Peters fit into the MCU like a goddamn glove.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he was one of the only quippy people in the Fox X-Men movies, so you just put him in a quippy. I mean, no one's really making that many quips in WandaVision yet. At least not in these later episodes where things are getting heated. But it just fits well with the kind of a bit more colorful aesthetic of the MCU.
Mm-hmm. And I like how he's very emblematic of the sort of changing tones of sitcoms from this time period, because up till now, the sitcoms they've been going with are very much the kind of idealized, we're dysfunctional, but we get along and we love each other kind of schmaltzy, sweet sitcoms of the 80s and going back. And now that we're in the 90s, sort of moving into the 2000s, really, we kind of skipped over the 90s and just went to the 2000s because Malcolm in the Middle started in 2000.
Well, I mean, realistically, the definitive sitcoms of the 90s you couldn't really fit into the WandaVision mold because they're Seinfeld and Friends.
True.
And
they're like
Frasier and stuff like that.
ensembles.
They're adult ensembles, no family. But also, a lot of the 80s sitcoms did go on to the 90s, much like Full House and stuff. So they fudged it.
Yeah, I was saying they did like the combo episode, like a combo meal episode. And now we're in like the Malcolm in the Middle era where the families are like, they're a bit more down to earth. They don't they kind of hate each other.
Yeah. It's that to get back to my point, we've moved into sort of the everybody's antagonistic towards each other period of sitcoms where it's less we don't always get along but we love each other. It's more we never get along but we tolerate each other. And his sort of antagonistic, annoying younger brother nature, him being Quicksilver, really fits into that mold. And I like how the whole episode Wanda's kind of going like, I don't want this. I want to be a happy family. And he's like, bitch, you brought me here.
Although, skipping ahead a bit, she does say, I don't know how I did this. And I'm like, she doesn't know. Actually, someone speculated, like, there's this X-Men villain who does television. I'm not sure if we talked about him before, but someone speculated that he might be a big villain or something.
Yeah,
Mojo, that's the guy, yeah. Mojo,
especially when you consider that Mojo is in an alternate dimension.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be the general theme of the upcoming MCU stuff.
Yeah, like it's all the multiverse. Because, hey, we just want to put all the Marvel movies into one banner. Screw it, bring in the Fan-4-Stick people.
Oh, no. I prefer Roger Corman's Fantastic Four, thank you.
Oh, if they do that, that would be like the greatest thing ever.
No. Imagine following up on that universe, getting those actors back.
Oh, yeah, just have the Thing suit.
Oh, yeah. Thing needs to be practical, as practical as possible, but bring in the Fan-4-Stick people and make that the live-action version of Marvel Zombies.
Ooh.
Yes!
That would actually work well if the director's original vision of wanting to do a horror Fan-4-Stick thing.
But speaking of Fantastic Four type stuff, so are you guys in agreement with Twitter that it's probably Reed Richards that is Monica's guy? Because she did specifically say her guy in this episode. She was using male pronouns.
I don't think it's going to be Reed, because Reed is more often been portrayed as super scientist, theoretical physicist.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's like, I don't think it's very like, the only one I can think of is Reed. But like it could be anyone. It could just be an obscure comic grab for all I know. Also, speaking of grabs, so Agnes is looking a lot less suspicious now because like I think she was a red herring.
She's looking a lot more suspicious.
Really?
Okay, where was Vision in the town? Far end where no one was moving. Yeah, Agnes was moving. Agnes was still able to do some shit. Unless there's like some law of Wanda's power is like Agnes being a main cast member because she's in the credits now, means that she has a little bit more autonomy. She's that far away from Wanda, she shouldn't be moving. She should be like the rest of them, but she was able to talk.
Dude, I'm gonna say this as a friend, that feels a little bit like you're reaching.
Yeah, it does seem like a reach.
Because I think like it's a weird scene because they pull her out of it and she gives us almost nothing. Like Vision's asking her all these questions and she's just kind of like, "Are you here to save us?" And then she breaks down laughing.
No, she repeatedly goes, "You're dead," too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be fair, like I would have that question too. Like, wait, aren't you dead? Because like I don't know. Well, I don't know. I just think like I choose a red herring just because, and I just think because this thing has mentally drained everyone. We see this really great shot early on with like this person just they're doing incomplete laundry and there's a tear that goes through. I think it's just mentally draining everyone.
And I'd be honest, that felt a bit trite to me.
It does seem a little pretentious, but
it's a little heavy-handed, is what I mean. Like you could just show that scene without the tear, I think would be fine. Throwing the tear in there made me feel like they were yelling at the audience, you're supposed to understand that everybody's scared and sad. And I'm like, I kind of got that from the scene with Norm last week.
Yeah. I miss Norm. I already miss him.
He wasn't in this episode.
Dang. Yeah.
No, but we did get an excellent Herb Frankenstein.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
It was a good ass costume.
Actually, I want to touch on something. This is like at the very end of the episode when she starts like expanding the Westview area. I love how she turns all the military people into clowns.
I feel like that was a really good subtle joke.
Yeah, that's just how she views it. They're all clowns.
You're all clowns. This whole military stuff, because I've been in it before, is a circus. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Have you seen the theory about what's going to happen to Darcy next week?
I mean, other than the joke I posted in my Discord server earlier.
Is that where I first saw that?
I have no idea. No. I just did that as a joke.
Oh, that was a joke? I thought that was legit.
No, it was a joke.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was... I thought I saw that on Reddit for some reason. But, like, the idea of her just being her character from Two Broke Girls next week, that'd be fun.
Oh, that was a joke. I feel dumb now because I don't know what Two Broke Girls is.
I do, because I saw ads for it all the time, and it looked like the kind of show that would make me beat my head against the wall.
Oof. Yeah. Can we also talk about how this episode basically also inadvertently predicted Stephen Ford's pitch for wanting to make a Randall Park show? But Randall Park's the actor. Jimmy Woo show.
That's probably why they were so willing to take in a pitch.
Yeah, because it's like, well, we already have like a basic setup and a character.
Because we already have the character, we have a group of people that we can put with them, and also there's like a couple scenes that kind of like showcase it, and people are already interested in it. So sure, why don't we give the guy who got a viral tweet and got the ball rolling for the fans to give us a pitch?
Yeah, I really hope that pitch comes through, though. If only so, like Stephen Ford will be more than just the Dragon Knight guy, which he deserves.
Although I've heard like he's done tons of stuff behind the scenes in Hollywood since Dragon Knight, so it's not like
and I'm just talking about like the quote unquote like pop culture superhero shtick.
Mm-hmm. I mean. Oh my god, I just had the worst idea. They're doing multiverse stuff now, so what if he reprises the role of Kit? Just put him in Multiverse of Madness for 5 seconds.
The worst part is that's plausible with Dragon Knight's continuity. that's actually plausible. Anyway.
Oh man, there's a lot of dumb things.
So how about those costumes?
Oh, they're I'm surprisingly, maybe because I haven't been on Twitter in a while, or ever, or who knows. But like, I was surprisingly seeing not a lot of thirst tweets for Elizabeth Olsen in this episode.
All I've seen in relation to this episode is people thirsting after Elizabeth Olsen, and honestly, same. But y'all are being gross.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of costumes, can we talk about that great cutaway gag with like the kid Wanda and Pietro?
Yeah, and they're fucking dressed as Widow and Fury.
Oh yeah, I actually didn't notice that. Like, I just thought like she dressed like an ant and like
But that was really good. I love the idea that Wanda is into luchadors. Fucking like, I'm sure Vision thought of that excuse on the spot because he realized he needed an excuse for the costume. But like, something about Wanda watching El Santo matches just makes me happy.
It also is just like it's like one of those little things that you would have as a character gag in a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
there's a lot of other little things that are just like amazing, like the kick-ass gag.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Because
Pietro says like kick-ass, and the kids repeat it, kick-ass, and then Wanda goes kick-ass because both actors who played Pietro, Quicksilver, were in Kick-Ass.
Ah, okay, that's because I know it was like some reference to that movie. I just didn't know which one. Also, speaking of that commercial was surprisingly dark. It also had like probably the most effort put into it out of all the commercials so far.
Which is weird because it's the one I like the least.
It's a pitch perfect version of like those late 90s, early 2000s commercials, though.
Yeah.
It is
Or just weird.
It is. Remember those Capri Sun commercials?
Yeah,
No.
it might be a little bit before her time.
Yeah, we are a good 5 to 7 years older than you. I don't know the exact.
Yeah.
Remember, I am definitively a millennial.
Whereas I'm in the generation fucked bracket of just between millennials and Zoomers.
Nah, you're a millennial. You're bounced up here with us.
Ah, damn it.
In college, and roommates at 30.
I never got the reference to what's the commercial referencing?
Yo, magic.
Oh, magic, just magic.
Someone's eating Wanda's magic.
Oh.
Okay.
Did you just get it now?
Mike just broke.
Yeah. And now it's so obvious that that's what's going on in the show. Damn it.
So someone is absorbing Wanda's magic.
Well, Wanda, who is trying to use magic to grieve and move past trauma and help people, can't control it as much as she used to. So she's starving. Because remember, the kid in the commercial also had a red shirt and kind of reddish brownish hair, much like Wanda. And to continue the fish imagery of the episode, the kid had a dead fish next to him. Wanda and Pietro got a fish when they were trick-or-treating in Sokovia. And Wanda threatened to turn Pietro into a fish.
Also, speaking of Pietro, he seemed pretty suspicious throughout the entire episode. He was still great, but there were just always these, especially at the last line he said, where it's like, well, your husband already died, previously.
I mean, that's kind of just Pietro in the comics. He never goes straight villain, but he's always the most dickhead hero.
Yeah, because here's the thing. We've talked about House of M, where Wanda changes reality, makes the mutants all powerful, makes Magneto king, that kind of stuff. That wasn't her idea. That was Pietro's idea. In terms of the family dynamic, Pietro got Magneto's attitude. Wanda got the power level.
Okay, weird thought. So, what if this is a dumb thing. I'm just gonna say it anyway. So, what if Wanda learned to travel through multiverses and the Evan Peters Pietro encouraged? I don't know. That's probably not gonna happen. But encouraged her to do all this. I don't think it's true, but
I don't think that's where we're going. But that could be an interesting idea.
I think there's going to be elements of it,
Yeah, elements of multiverse. I don't I'm kind of I'm still not sure if he's from Fox Quicksilver. Or,
if I may give my thought, real quick fantasy book with my prior Marvel knowledge, what I think's happening.
Sure.
I think Wanda came back from the snap, realizes, wait a second, Sword has been messing with my boyfriend's robot entrails for 5 years, doing God knows what, and he wouldn't want that. So let me get that real quick. Then something happens, and then the hex happens. The big, we're in sitcom world now.
Yeah.
I think whoever did that, planted that idea, whether it be Agnes, whether it be Nightmare, whether it be Mephisto, or whether it be just Wanda breaking down, this happens.
There's just somebody suspect list for this show right now. Just somebody who did it? It's just we have entire bulletin boards of just here's this character from the comics, but here's this character from the movies. Who can show up? Who can
I mean, somebody did do the SpongeBob Squidward meme, but it's Mephisto on r/MCU today.
But she didn't control it. She did. She just. So she's kind of just going with the flow. It's okay, I'm happy right now, so let me just continue it. And as she's going on, it is taking more and more of her power because it's being siphoned off, because she's just using so much. It's just taking a toll on her. People are starting to wake up more.
Yeah, especially thanks to Vision's little buzz thingy.
Because we only started seeing people really start kind of waking up in the 70s episode.
Yeah.
So they're slowly starting to wake up. Wanda's hold is weakening. And as Wanda's hold is weakening, the barriers of the multiverse are starting to get wobbly, essentially. So her powers are influencing just her wants and desires. So it's pulling in concepts to fill in those gaps. And I think it's doing this because I think the end of the show is going to be Wanda not necessarily saying no more mutants or yes, all the mutants. She's going to make the choice and expand the hex all over this dimension's Earth through space and time, and taking bits and elements from the comics, from the Fox movies, whatever people want to come back from the Fox movies who are popular.
So a soft reboot?
And basically kind of go like, yeah, soft reboot of the MCU. Everything in the MCU happened, but now also some X-Men-y, mutant-y stuff is now there too, because her hex influenced the dimensional barrier of this world to that extent.
Okay, that's actually one of the more plausible how to introduce mutants in the MCU things I've heard, to be honest. Like, I'm still in the camp that it should be a government cover-up. But like...
and that could be the reason why we haven't heard it in the movies, like the retcon reason, once mutants have been kind of placed in the history.
Yeah, like it's been a cover-up, yeah.
And and that could be the reason why Deadpool 3 is now in the MCU. And still have Deadpool 1 and go.
Yeah. That could work a lot. Like, I was thinking just now that you said that, like, I can just imagine the opening scene of Deadpool 3 just be like him and the gang just being tossed into the MCU. Yeah.
No big toss moment. It's just like they're all sitting in a lounge and a wave of energy goes across them. And Deadpool just looks up and goes, I smell a mouse.
That'd be great.
It used to smell a lot more like a fox, but now it smells like a mouse.
Yeah, I'm just imagining this between Colossus and...
because, honestly, that Colossus is a really good Colossus, and he can work within the MCU. Deadpool already works fine. And this way you can go like, okay, what X-Men actors do we want to use? Then that way, hey, we can keep using this version of Quicksilver because he's a fan favorite. Or we can go back to Aaron Taylor, or we can get a different Quicksilver altogether because it's from a version from a different universe that's kind of smushed into ours.
Okay, but if we're doing like, sorry, I know we're thinking a lot about the future right now, but like, do we want to recast Magneto and Professor X, or do we want to use Fox Magneto and Professor X? I'm not sure if we want to use James McAvoy or.
I'm okay with James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender coming back. But I think... No, they've probably aged into a good young middle-age version of those characters, which is what I would want to see right now.
So, like, I'm just saying, would the actors want to come back? Because, like,
I get that Disney paycheck, though.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
You know something else about this episode we're not noticing that potentially hints at stuff?
What?
Do you know what Pietro told the kids to do at one point?
Run, my demon
Speed
spawn.
up.
Unleash hell, demon spawn.
Oh, it's definitely my film.
But also remember, Pietro in this entire episode is heavily associated with the imagery of fish.
Oh.
Red herring.
Damn it.
Oh.
They are throwing so much at like, this might be an answer, this might be an answer.
Yeah, and then, like, Agnes could be a red herring. Who knows what's a red herring? Anything goes now.
Also, I saw this theory that I kind of want to see happen. I want to see like one of the last scenes in the of the series is just Hayward, the sword guy, going like, "You know what? I'm right about super people. We need something to defeat it. We have all this tech from Vision. We just need a good scientist engineer to build us the right thing. So please, ladies and gentlemen," he's talking to a crowd, "may I introduce to you Dr. Trask."
Ooh.
Who's Dr. Trask?
He's the guy
who invented the Sentinels.
Ooh.
And if we're starting to put breadcrumbs into the X-Men.
And you know what? They could do another bring a Fox actor back because fucking Peter Dinklage isn't doing anything right now.
Oh no. And he's already been one character in the MCU, and I wouldn't imagine that he had a bad experience and wouldn't want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, another thought, if my fantasy booking idea of like, this is how they're doing the ending and this is how they're bringing in mutants, this could be a semi-soft reboot to bring back all the dead villains that they killed without realizing they may want to bring them back. Like actually, I don't know, say a certain Eric Killmonger.
Ooh.
Or Dr. Claw.
Man.
Oh, that would be. Honestly, it would be really honestly, I really considered would they want to do a soft reboot? Because usually you do a soft reboot if you're the DC extended universe and you've had your ups and downs. Honestly, usually I think of soft reboots as a business strategy. But for something that could creatively fulfill. Because when you think about it, they don't really need to do soft reboot. They're making a lot of money. So, but if they want to do be creatively conscious, if they just wanted to tell a cool story with the soft reboot, then that would be really cool.
Because here's the thing, X-Men is such an integral part of a lot of Marvel things that they've kind of had to edge the line with a lot of the stories they're telling. Civil War would have been 10 times more impactful if there was mutants around.
Yeah, it really would. It's still a great movie, but
imagine General Ross going and look at all these other people, and you just throw up a couple C-list mutants that everybody loves. Glob, Beak,
Gold Balls.
Yeah, Gold Balls.
Gold Balls.
Gold Balls. He's a dude who can just make giant gold balls.
That's really I don't know how to feel about that.
Actually, though, his code name right now is Egg because of weird X-Men things. He's part of a group of 5 who can make essentially a resurrection thing for all mutants.
Yeah.
So right now the X-Men can't die. So.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other little things that people have been going. I've been seeing some people talk about is some people are unsure of them doing Mephisto because of the supernatural element involved with him, being the devil, and how that might play with China because they're kind of iffy on that. But I also had a thought: what if it's not purely Mephisto? What if they kind of make an amalgam of a couple different eldritch characters like Mephisto or Nightmare? Or never mind about that, what if they bring in Blackheart?
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Because the hand and the door kind of look more like a Blackheart kind of thing.
But I don't know, we've gotten pretty far off the beaten path. Do we want to talk about some other stuff that actually happened in this episode?
I'm searching through the thing. That intro though was pitch perfect.
Malcolm in the Middle intro, that was great.
That really threw me because I had completely forgotten what the Malcolm in the Middle intro looked like, but it was a very good homage.
Yeah. All we needed is those little clips sprinkled in and we're golden.
Mm-hmm. And I just liked the kids a lot more this episode because I feel
because they actually got to talk.
Last episode they had them be bad actors on purpose because all of the kid actors in the 80s were terrible, but here it's we're in the 2000s where the kids were kind of the stars of sitcoms, so now let's let these kids actually act, and these are good characters. I'm terrified that we'll lose them by the end of the show now.
Oh, yeah. Actually, so if they want to do that Young Avengers, they can just keep them around to form Young Avengers or Champions or whatever. I would not mind if we get these, I would not mind if we get these specific actors. I think they're going to do another age up before if they want to keep them for Champions and Young Avengers, but yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Again, with my soft reboot theory, they could be sent back in time, reincarnated through different parents, like they are in the comics.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit of a stretch, but anything can work.
I mean, it's Marvel.
That's what happened in the comics. Baby. If they can bring in a giant purple raisin man, they can do something as simple as go their souls were sent back in time and they reincarnated.
Okay. Actually, when you put it that way, that's much more simpler. Yeah. I think did we dry up the well yet? Let me see if I can find any more little bits and crannies. I think we dried up the well. We already talked about the clowns.
Hayward being a dick. I'm trying to think. Yeah.
But also, here's another thing. Vision technically pierced the veil and was outside. Yeah, he was being sucked back in, but I don't know if that was how the hex works or if that's how Vision's body works now.
I don't think he was getting sucked back in. I think he was legit just being torn apart.
But the energy was coming from the hex, going from him to the hex. He was being dragged back in.
Okay. I get it. I just thought it was just tearing him apart.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think because
it is tearing him apart, but it's it's the direction of how things are going.
Okay.
And going back to the kids for a second, I think they kind of nerfed Wiccan's powers because he was more of an empath than anything.
More of an empath telepath, but like that's also kind of how.
Well,
like,
to be fair, like he just discovered his powers at the end of this episode, so he probably could have more that we don't know of.
That's true. And
Yeah.
like,
and
I
getting
should
super
follow
speed-
up and say I didn't get exactly what I wanted, but I was satisfied with just Pietro being excited for Speed discovering his powers.
Yeah, that was wholesome.
like that's something I'm genuinely a little hesitant to just go like, oh, he's purely Mephisto, because like that relationship just feels cool. It feels good because also just how this version of Pietro interacted with Wanda was just like, that's what I want out of those two characters in the MCU, because they were too traumatized in Age of Ultron to actually be siblings.
And then they just kind of got like table scraps of screen time in the other movies.
I mean, they had a few moments of it, but it wasn't really focused.
It was like an appetizer.
Mm-hmm. I'm technically 10 minutes older than you.
But
So should we wrap it up, or?
I'm trying to think of anything like specific, but just no.
It was a good episode. I don't think it was better or on par with last week, but it was still good.
It is very much
last week was
go.
Like last week's was like such like a big shocking reveal, and like that just made everyone jump out of their seat. That like even if like it was a nice breather episode, even if things are starting to get a bit more heated.
Mm-hmm.
Also, something we didn't mention: Hayward's tracking Vision, not Wanda.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
He's not here to stop Wanda and save those people. He's there to reclaim stolen assets.
Oh, that makes me wonder. Do you think the Sentinels are going to be part Vision?
It could be based on synthozoid tech.
Yeah. Like,
I mean,
the idea I have. Yeah. Honestly, like, this is a pretty bad idea, to be honest. What if they make the Sentinels Vision repaints?
I mean, I wouldn't mind a smaller Sentinel for the MCU, but like, I love the big boy.
Yeah, I love the big boy Marvel vs. Capcom Sentinel.
Like, giant motherfucking hand coming down and trying to grab Wolverine. That's my idea of a Sentinel.
Yeah, same. And I just think we just need more giant action in the MCU, because we have like smaller scale action and we still have like cosmic set pieces, but like, let's get more giants up in here.
Give me Galactus. Where my Galactus?
I feel like Galactus is gonna be the next like big ending arc for the multiverse thing.
Either Galactus or Doom.
Yeah, I can see Doom being more multiverse.
Doom should be in a Fantastic Four movie. Then
which
you do Galactus in an Avengers movie. Then you do another threat. Then you do Kang in an Avengers movie.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like Kang would be like the grand finale to the MCU, but like that's besides the point.
Yeah.
May I make a quick sweeping pitch?
Sure.
Soft reboot, bring everything, kind of fix all the little, make the patches that you want to make patches to, including like, oh, now we have mutants. Oh, all the Netflix stuff that we like are in, so maybe the characters, but not all the story stuff. So we can do new Daredevil, new Jessica Jones, new Heroes for Hire, all that kind of stuff. You do all that kind of stuff, and maybe you bring back a certain character named the Purple Man, fan favorite villain that everybody really enjoyed. And say you bring in Doom, and then you do Emperor Doom.
Ooh.
Do you know the Emperor Doom storyline?
Nope.
Okay, basically,
but it sounds like a cool name.
Doom decides, you know what? No more fucking around. I'm taking over the world. So he goes and kidnaps the Purple Man, harnesses the Purple Man's power for his own, and puts the Purple Man in a machine so he can basically mind control the world. Not so much of like they're mindless, but basically you agree with Doom. Doom should rule the world. That's like his only command for them.
That'd be sick.
And basically all the Avengers are taken out, and Wonder Man has to come in and like wake everybody up to it now. But here's the
Wonder Man.
Here's the fucking amazing thing about that story. Doom actually solves a lot of problems.
Oh, kind of villain plots?
Yeah, he redistributes resources for starving people. He ends apartheid in South Africa because this was in the mid '80s. He takes Russia out of Afghanistan. Like all the things that we say are big problems in the world, He just goes like, no, fuck it. I want people to be like, let's fucking be.
Yeah, because like Doom, like from what little I know, besides Marvel vs. Capcom, he always seemed like, yeah, I'm a bastard, but like I'm gonna be a generous one.
He's an asshole and a bastard, and he wants to take over the world, but because he genuinely thinks that if he takes over the world will be a better place, and not in a better place because they worship Doom, a better place because because he can tell them what to do and be better. Like there's a bit in Secret Wars, 2016 Secret Wars, that really exemplifies this. It's in B-Mask's Fantastic Four video.
Yeah.
Where Doom says, Reed, you're always attacking me because I achieve good enough and you want perfection. Like that's the kind of mindset Doom has. It's like, no, like I don't give a fuck if I have to take away their willpower. I don't give a fuck. If that means that people aren't gonna die and people aren't being racist, fine.
He's an ends just.
And now I'm really worried about Dr. Doom in the MCU, but that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Buster or Miriam or you person, tell people where they can find you.
Hi, I'm Buster Corp. I'm kind of taking a hiatus from videos because I want to refresh. So no video this week. Sorry, but I do got videos already. They're pretty good, I think, on the Buster Corp channel. Also have a Wattpad where I'm writing things. In the middle of writing an episode 4 of Veilbusters. Maybe I'll write a Power Rangers thing soon. Who knows? Just check things.
The Boingo.
Yo. My name is Chris Boingo Writer Gaston. I do video essay and editorials on my YouTube channel. You can find it at Boingo Writer. You can follow me on Twitter at Boingo_writer and Instagram at Boingo, say it with me, _writer. You can always join my Discord server where we talk about TV, comic books, wrestling, shit posts, aesthetic. Like it's just, it's just toys. We do a lot of toy talk because I'm a I say I'm a collector. I don't have the money to collect, and you are a collector.
I mean, but yeah, I don't have the money to collect either.
Yeah, but you have you have a regular income that you can kind of save up and get stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we hang out there, talk. Do you want to plug all the Modular Media stuff, or should we do it together after you plug your shit?
Yeah, let me plug my shit real quick. Hi, everybody. I'm the Vacuuminator. I make videos on YouTube. I'm currently on hiatus, though, but if you want to watch my backlog, you can find me at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. That's THCVACUUMINATOR. I'm also on social media, Twitter at the Vacuuminator and Instagram at the _Vacuuminator for figure photography and such. But before you do that, why don't you do us a favor? Give this video a like, give it a comment, share it around, and subscribe to the Modular Media YouTube channel or subscribe to the podcast feed you're listening to this to. You can find more of our shows at youtube.com/Modular Media or however that link works. You can also check out our Twitter for updates on shows and when they're coming out. That's at the Modular Media. And you can join our subreddit for the same reasons, r/Modular Media. But that's going to do it for this time. We will see you next week when we'll be discussing the next episode of Wandavision.
Hell yeah. Oh no, wait, next week is Modern Family.
Yeah, I'm not going to be on next week. Goodbye.
Nope, you have to be here. I'm sorry.
No,
you are in here with me, and you cannot leave.